Okay, so I'm gonna try another challenge and I'm gonna try to see if I can figure out how to use the outlet. So basically here is what's happening now. So in our site, or when we go inside of our host and go to products and click on a products, we have these three different components. And the thing is, right now, these three different components are basically mapping over all of our products again and then putting all the information where we need it. So this one is doing that same thing again, and this one is doing that same thing again. So that isn't very dry since we have already repeated code three different times and the same exact code. But I'm thinking with React context, since we already did it once inside of the layout page, everything that's inside of the layout or everything that's inside of that layout page should be able to get that, or should be able to use this information that we already mapped over. So I'm going to use the documentation, and it seems like what they're doing is returning the state itself. So if we say context, and I haven't tried this yet, but we're just going to give it a shot, and we say product and set product, and we go ahead and save that. What I'm thinking is that now when we go into our child, so let's go to seller detail and let's use outlet context. So we can do that, use outlet context. And now here inside of the child, what I'm thinking we can do is, let's see, inside of our return, is it? No, not inside of our return. Instead, let's go ahead and say const, and let's say, what was it? Product, was it product? Yeah, product and set product. And then we are going to equal that to use outlets. What am I doing? Outlet context. So of course this is going to not work very well, but if we go ahead and clear this out and go back to our site, let's see what happens here. So we actually get our site loaded up correctly. So let me see what error I'm getting here. Okay, so this is just for the styled components that I'm getting this error. So basically that is actually so much easier than having to do all of this over again. So if we just console.log product, refresh, we see that we are getting this piece of state. So when we go ahead and let me explain this from the beginning, we set our state product and set our product, and then we get the params. So the params, of course, we're getting from the ID of the product itself, and then we're putting that into a param ID and converting it into a number, and then we're mapping over the product. We're getting the products list, and then we're going to say if the product's ID is equals to the parameters ID, then we want to set a use effect. I want to set the product to the product that we're mapping over, and then I want this to redo this use effect every time the param ID changes, which this doesn't matter right now. But basically we're setting this product into the product or the product state. So when we refresh here, we see that we're getting one a bunch of times. So that's awesome. So now that it's in this piece of state, we can go down and we can use the outlet context. We can pass that state to the context, and then we can use that state inside of the child of the outlets. So because the products listed layout is the parent here, even though it has a different name right here, it's the parent, we can basically now pass that information down to the children. So we don't have to keep on redoing this, this very annoying code right here. And that's actually really awesome. So now we don't have to put everything in state and redo all of that. Instead, we can just import the use outlet context, and then we can say the product and the set product equals the use outlet context. So that's referencing this here. And then now we can just use that piece of state from here in here. So pretty cool stuff. I didn't think that challenge was going to be that easy. I thought it was going to be a lot harder, but I could do it again on this one, but I want reference for when I go use my notes or go look back at my notes. I guess I'll do this one more time. But I want reference for when I go out and build another site. I want to see everything that I did. And okay, I'm going to console.log this out. Yeah, I want to see everything that I did so I have an idea of how things worked and why I did certain things. So when we go to pricing, of course, it's not going to work. And then until we say product and then set product equals use outlet context. So now it will work. And we just basically removed like 10 lines of code just with that one thing. So that is actually awesome. That's really cool. And I'm going to leave this one as is. So when I go and build out new projects, I kind of have an idea of how those things work. But that's pretty much it. I didn't expect this challenge to be that quick.